Daily Dose presents why women over 40 choose only men they once ignored. Welcome, please hit the subscribe button. You know what's happening everywhere right now that nobody wants to talk about? Men in their 40s are suddenly getting messages from women who completely ignored them 15 years ago. These same women who spent their 20s and 30s filtering out anyone under 6 feet tall, anyone making less than 6 figures, anyone who didn't check every box on their impossibly long list. Now these women are sliding into DMs, showing interest, being flexible about their requirements. And guys are confused, thinking they finally became the man women want. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You didn't suddenly become more attractive at 42 when you have less hair than at 25. You didn't become irresistible when your metabolism slowed down or when those stress lines appeared from years of corporate grinding. Something else changed entirely. The market changed. And once you understand what really happened, you'll never see this sudden attention the same way again. Think of dating like any marketplace. For years, women held all the leverage. They could be incredibly picky, demand premium quality for average investment, eliminate 95% of available options and still have choices. Then something shifts. The supply they want decreases while their demand stays the same. Suddenly those buyers who were so selective are now competing with each other for what's left available. Let me paint you a picture of how this worked when she was 25. She's making $40,000 in entry-level marketing, living with roommates, driving an aging Honda Civic. But on dating apps, she's connecting with doctors, lawyers, finance guys making 6 figures who own property and take her to expensive restaurants. This creates a dangerous illusion. She thinks this is her league. These are the men she deserves. What she doesn't realize is that attention doesn't equal commitment. These successful men in their 30s and 40s are casually dating her, not planning to settle down with her. They're enjoying time with someone young and attractive without baggage, ex-husbands, kids, or walls built from decades of dating disasters. But she can't see this distinction. She sees dates and attention from high-value men and assumes this is what she can access long-term. So when that ordinary 27-year-old guy who makes $55,000 shows genuine interest and would actually commit, she rejects him. Not successful enough, not exciting enough. She has hundreds of matches and can afford to be selective. Her filtering system eliminates 85% of men based on height alone, then cuts down to maybe 2% after income requirements. Here's what she missed. Those top-tier men understand they have choices. Why would they commit to her specifically when they can date beautiful women in their 20s indefinitely? But this calculation doesn't register because she's 25 with time to spare. Relationships can wait while she focuses on career, friends, and experiences. Fast forward to 32. She's earning more professionally, maybe $65,000 now, but the dating landscape has shifted dramatically. Those successful men who took her out at 25 are now dating women in their mid-20s. She's no longer the youngest option and finds herself competing with women 5 to 7 years younger who have exactly what she had then. The connections slow down, quality decreases, but her standards haven't adjusted because her self-perception hasn't changed. She still believes she deserves what she was getting at 25. She starts hearing familiar refrains about where all the good men went, how men are intimidated by successful women. These are coping mechanisms protecting her ego from reality. Between 36 and 40, everything changes. The biological timeline she could ignore becomes impossible to deny. If she wants children, fertility drops dramatically after 35 and plummets after 40. The successful, attractive men in their 40s are increasingly partnered, and the single ones are either dating much younger or extremely cautious after divorce. Suddenly those ordinary men she filtered out are looking substantially more appealing. This isn't because these men became more attractive. The alternatives disappeared. At 25, women have high supply of interested men and tremendous leverage. At 40, that supply has dramatically reduced while they're competing with younger women and facing biological pressure. Meanwhile, men's market position has completely reversed. At 25, you had lower perceived value competing with older, more established men. At 40, if you've built any success, your market value has increased. Your dating pool includes women from 25 to 45, giving you significantly more options and leverage. I know a guy named Mike who's 43, earns decent money, nothing spectacular, but solid and stable. In his 20s, he got almost no attention from women, maybe one response for every 20 messages on dating apps. Now he's receiving first messages from accomplished women with advanced degrees and quality careers. Mike's confused because nothing about him improved by conventional standards, but the women messaging him had their options disappear. Here's what to watch for if you're getting this sudden attention. If she's rushing toward commitment, talking about moving in together after months, bringing up marriage or kids within weeks, this isn't about you specifically. This is timeline pressure.
Schizopératine, under deadline contraint.
She still references her usual type, saying she normally dates taller men or more adventurous guys. She's telling you directly that you don't fit her preference pattern, but she's making an exception because she has to. You can see her disappointment when your apartment isn't as impressive as hoped, when your car is practical instead of flashy, when your vacation plans are modest rather than exciting. When women settle, they often resent it, even unconsciously. She looks at friends who married ordinary guys at 28 who've now built quality lives together, realizing that could have been her. Or she sees successful men her age dating women in their late 20s and understands those men have no reason to date women their own age. This creates psychological conflict. She knows she waited too long and filtered too harshly, but admitting this destroys her self-image. So resentment gets directed at you. You become the symbol of her settling. Every compromise feels like evidence of failure. The mathematics are stark. You at 40 can potentially date women from 25 to 45, a 20-year span. If you're financially successful and reasonably attractive, you're in demand. Her at 40 faces a dramatically smaller pool, maybe 5 to 10% of what existed at 25. For fertility specifically, a 25-year-old woman has approximately 25% chance of pregnancy per cycle. At 40, that drops to about 5%. By 45, less than 1%. If she wants biological children, she's facing reduced fertility, increased complications, higher miscarriage rates, and expensive treatments with low success rates. This biological asymmetry creates massive leverage shifts. Men's fertility doesn't decline nearly as dramatically. A 40-year-old man can still father healthy children easily. This fundamental difference reshapes the entire dynamic. If you're receiving attention from women who ignored you 15 years ago, understand what you represent. You're not her dream, you're her reality. She's not choosing you because you swept her off her feet, but because her preferred options became unavailable and you're the best remaining choice.
Don't let soudaine attention cloud your jugement.
Just because she's settling doesn't mean you have to settle for her. You can have standards based on character, compatibility, genuine attraction, and shared values. The leverage has finally shifted in your favor. Use it wisely.